Is your living room still rocking the same paint color it had when VHS tapes were cool? Did your kid turn the hallway into a modern art exhibit with crayons? Then it's time to call Buckmaster Painting Company. At Buckmaster Painting, we provide all your painting needs throughout Northwest Ohio. Whether it's a single room, your entire home, or a commercial project, we'll make your walls look so good your neighbors might suddenly become just curious about your paint color. Our painters are fast, professional, and unlike your cousin who knows how to paint, we actually finish the job. So stop staring at those scuffs, stains, and questionable color choices and call Buckmaster Painting Company. Let us brush away your painting problems. Buckmaster Painting Company, bringing color to Northwest Ohio, one wall at a time.
Welcome back to Flagrant Foul, episode 43. We've got plenty to cover this week, from Browns already getting hit by OTA injuries to the non-stop debate surrounding Shedeur Sanders. Plus, we'll spare a thought for the supplemental draft quarterback trying to get anyone's attention. The Avalanche season ended in disappointment. Vegas is still stupid. The Guards keep rolling and are sitting 2 games up in the Central because apparently winning baseball games is a habit now. We'll also recap Nate's night at the ballpark, break down the Morgan Wallen concert experience, discuss concert fits, proper footwear, and why every person holding a phone above their head for 3 straight hours deserves a minor penalty. And of course, this week's banger of the week, because the vibes are high even if our sports teams occasionally let us down. Let's get into it.
Run this off. Yeah. Hey, Cleveland roots with a reckless style. Take so bold, they're flagrant foul. House on the ice, Notre Dame pride. Wrestling talk about culture, ride from Rich to Nate. It's full court wild, say back press play. It's flagrant foul. Yeah, it's flagrant foul.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 43 of Flagrant Foul. Pretty jam-packed weekend for the boys. How was your weekend so far?
Yeah, you said it. Jam-packed it was. We're here, we're early. This is earlier than we normally record, but we know we're professionals, so just throw a little Java in us and we're ready to rock. But yeah, it was fun. It's not like, we had a lot of ups and downs with the sporting, our rooting interests last week, and then went into the end of the weekend. I know you went to Dollar Dog Night, and I went to the Morgan Wallen concert. So yeah, we got home. We got to the concert about 4:45, and we left at about 11:45. So it was pretty long, but it was sweet. So anyway, let's jump into it, man. NFL stuff. Just a few things with the Browns this week I wanted to talk about. Start ramping up this news here, as we get through OTAs. We'll start getting here into June, July, off-season workouts. Season's going to be here before you know it, man. But injury bug. I saw this the other day, and it was like, Browns already getting hit by the injury bug. And then I was like, oh, it's my call. That doesn't count. Bro can't stay on the field, whether it's off the field incidents or getting hurt, but like, I'm not in the least bothered. How about you?
Yeah, me either. He's been subpar. I feel like that is a nice way of putting it for my call so far since it's been in Cleveland. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm sure that's the first of many. I think he's okay. I haven't really heard much about like what the injury exactly was, but I'm sure we'll have a couple season-ending injuries before you know it to some more important people. So it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, I couldn't care less. It's whatever with him. But also, Jeudy, have you heard any of his comments? He looks like he's feeling himself a little bit. He's, we're talking about going back to his Pro Bowl form and all that. We'll see. Dude still has. I think my biggest thing is the effort attitude problem he had last year. I don't like that. So I hope he turns it around, but whatever. But the highlight to that is he did have some positive things to say about Shedeur. I know he had spent some time with Watson in the offseason, so I thought he was going to be Team Watson on this whole thing, but he also knows Watson is going to be on the field for 4 seconds before Shedeur will be out there anyway, so may as well continue to say the right things. But I guess he said, was talking about the growth that Shedeur's made since last year, so that's as we said before, I feel like there's so much misinformation coming out, like just trying to drum up trouble, trying to drum up controversy with QB. I think Monken, he knows what he wants. There's going to be a competition. There'll be no controversy. He's going to go with the better quarterback that he thinks from jump. But I don't know. Have you heard any of that?
I didn't hear what Jeudy had to say. But yeah, I don't know. There's been, I don't know what to make of any of the stuff that's come out. Some days I see Deshaun Watson looks like a Pro Bowl quarterback, and then the next day he looks awful, and then maybe Shedeur's looking good that day. So I really have no idea where they're at. I imagine, like we've said in the past, it'll probably be Deshaun getting the start from jump and then moving to Shedeur eventually, when Deshaun oh my God.
Inevitably.
I'm having a
I
seizure.
dialed
It's early for me.
Yeah.
Not really, but still. Yeah, when he gets hurt, then we'll see Shedeur. But till then, I imagine it'll be Deshaun regardless. If it's close, I think they'll go to Sean. They're paying him so much money, they kind of have to. But whatever.
I mean, I got to think that too, something's going to play into this is like, let's say he goes and balls out. I don't think there's a positive ending to this. I don't think if he goes and balls out and becomes like, just in an alternate universe, he's like some premier quarterback and then the contract's up, he's not resigning here. He made his money here when he wanted. He was able to reprove it. He's going to leave. So you got to plan for that. And maybe their plan is rock with him this year and they hit the draft. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But or the dude flames out. But either way, I don't see a positive ending for Deshaun Watson. I'm so ready for that whole fiasco to be over with.
Mm-hmm.
But also, somebody we haven't talked about, it's been kind of radio silence for months, is Joel Bitonio. So they gave him some time, right, to decide if he was going to, I thought, retire or not. We haven't heard anything, but then the last thing I heard is there's potential trade rumors with him. All right, we're back. Little technical camera difficulties, so you get a nice little different view of me. We'll make sure we don't have to look at my stomach for the rest of this. But it wouldn't be. We've been doing good lately, man. We haven't had any technical difficulties in a while, so we'll get that one out of the way. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Joel Bitonio, I had heard some rumors potentially they're looking at him on potential trades, which is interesting because I haven't heard much on him, but it does sound like, I thought he was either going to retire or come back, but I do think the Browns have sort of moved on in his absence. So, I guess that's whatever. I'm not going to hate on the guy if they find somewhere potentially competitive for him to go and let him make a run at one. I'd be all right with that. He's been a Brown.
Thank you.
Look at this.
Bye. Oh,
The
yeah.
bear
Hand
coming
delivered.
in clutch. Yeah.
Peace out.
Pretty sweet.
Bye. I'll talk to you when I'm back inside.
Right. Anyways.
Yeah, so we moved the bear out 6 days ago, 7 days ago. You guys made it apart for an entire 4 days, and she was back in Parma at Casa 803. Huh?
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, so thoughts on Bitonio?
He's obviously one of the guys I'd like to be a Brown for his entire career, but kind of like the Njoku thing. If he goes somewhere competitive and has some success, I'm gonna root for him. I want him to do good. Be cool to see him go somewhere and get a ring. I don't think he's on that level to go to a Super Bowl caliber team and help them get over the hump. But I'd be okay with it. If he went to an AFC North team, I'd have to hate him. But other than that, or if he went to the Broncos,
I don't see him doing that. Do you? I don't think he would do it. But what do I know? Hey, so last thing I had Browns wise, can we get into this potential supplemental draft Browns quarterback interest? I know you seem to know a little bit more about this guy than I did, so I'm gonna let you take this one.
So his name is I think it's Brendan Sorsby or Braden Sorsby. I don't remember. I should probably have double checked on that. And from my understanding, he had played at Indiana, but I don't think he really played. I think he was also at Cincinnati, and then this year, I believe he was transferring to Texas Tech and going to play at Texas Tech. Then he basically checked himself into rehab for gambling. Um, I saw something like he made 40 bets on Indiana football while he was there. So the long and short of it is he was declined, like eligibility, I guess, so he won't be going back to the NCAA. I think he can appeal it, but it's looking like that's not going to work in his favor.
So he lost the first appeal, right? Because I think he already appealed once.
I don't know. I'm not super well versed on the topic, but that's kind of the understanding I've gotten from the couple of things I've seen about it.
Okay.
But basically, it seems like we're going to end up with the supplemental draft, and how that I'm not. You might know better than me because we got Kozar in the supplemental draft, I believe.
Yeah.
How that works is like teams basically like offer like what they'd be willing to give up for him, and whoever like has the highest offer or something, gets him. And like, so if the Browns were to say we'll give a first for him, or we'll take him with a first pick, I guess, in the supplemental draft, we'll lose our first pick at the following year, which doesn't seem great because, I mean, I think he's fine. But I don't think that he is a good enough quarterback to give up a first round pick where next year we're going to have our chances at getting Arch, or my guy, CJ Carr. So it just, especially this draft, like going into, if it was the previous season, going into this draft that just happened, and it's like we've got Fernando Mendoza, and then we kind of have a bunch of question marks around the board, maybe I would be into it, but this draft could potentially be franchise changing. I'm not trying to hop on the Arch train, but he's a Manning nonetheless, and I feel like he's sort of lived up to the hype. Obviously, like wasn't there at the beginning of the year, but I think he was able to. Yeah, I think he was able to turn it around. I also am a huge believer in CJ Carr, and I think he's going to be a dog when he gets to the NFL. I think he's going to be a dog this year at Notre Dame. So, having like those two guys that really could change a franchise, I don't really feel like it's worth it, especially for a first round pick. Maybe if we go like third, fourth, maybe, but I'd also like to see like we got to move on from a quarterback in the room right now if that's what we're going to do and go try to get Sorsby. Like I'd like to see Dylan Gabriel be gone or whatever they're going to do. I don't think I haven't heard it, but if they want to keep Dylan Gabriel and move on from Shedeur, like I said, I don't think that is even in consideration, but I'd like to have something figured out before they go add another quarterback, especially they just drafted Taylor Green. So I just feel like it adds more drama and controversy if they go get him. And I don't feel like he's really proved himself enough to.
Doesn't seem like he's played much.
Yeah.
So he has like a lot of upside, but you're still talking about a prospect. I'm also going to say, I'm not, particularly our team, I'm not dismissive of the fact that dude had a gambling issue. Like, we've had enough sketchy background shit. We don't necessarily need to.
That's another thing that, like, I don't know how that goes down because, let's say he did have eligibility. Because what? He was, like, playing in, like, he's already been in college for, like, 4 years, so it's not, like, a true, like, eligibility year. I think I'm not 100% sure on this situation, but so I don't understand how he lost his eligibility. I would have thought like if the situation was different, maybe he would like still be in college, but have to be suspended for a year. Like, I'm not sure how he's not, it doesn't really feel like he's getting in trouble for the gambling portion. Like, yeah, he lost his eligibility and can't play in college anymore, but now he's going to the NFL. So like, is it really a punishment?
Yeah, I mean, I guess yes, in the fact that he hasn't had a chance to make the money that he's going to make by being a first-round pick if he was ever going to be something like that. But then also when you have a QB-needy league right now that's desperate to try to find somebody and potentially find somebody in an expedited time frame, meaning you don't have to wait the next year. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, there's not doesn't seem like a huge punishment. I don't know. That one's a little weird to me. And so the other thing I think I'm seeing is like, I don't see any world where Deshaun plays the entire season next year. That's just me. So if we have a successful year and we're running with the young guys that we have, then it makes me think we're probably not going quarterback next year. And if we don't, and we have a terrible season, to your point, we're going to draft a quarterback high. And why would we give away a first-round pick next year? So, yeah, for a guy who has
And
very little
it
playoff
feels
experience.
like, I don't know, because like the past two drafts, the one that just happened the year before, like Fernando Mendoza is probably like the most, like, I don't know. He's I guess, yeah, that would be a good way to put it. But if you're going into like a draft like that, or the year previous, where like Cam Ward went number 1, like, and then that was pretty much it, I think, for the first round. It makes sense, but I don't feel like there's a team that's like, we're this close. If we get this guy that can be serviceable, maybe he turns into a star eventually. It's gonna take us to the next level. Versus like waiting a year, like a team that comes to mind, like the Jets. The Jets, if they get Sorsby, if they add Patrick Mahomes this year, they're not going to be good. So it's not going to hurt them to wait another year and try to go get Arch or CJ Carr. Especially with like not only do I think they're better players, but I mean, character wise, they don't have off the field things at the moment. Who knows what will happen by the time the draft comes around? But I don't know. I just don't feel like it's worth it unless like you can snag them with a late pick in the supplemental draft. Then
yeah,
it could be interesting. But that feels more like a team, like a I don't know, somebody that has like a set quarterback, but is like getting older. Like I know the Steelers just got somebody, but like that would kind of be like a good situation. Go sit behind A-Rod for a year, but they've already got two young guys doing that. So like something like that would maybe make sense. But I don't know. I think it's kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, I looked this up so we can get on. This is the supplemental draft. This is so it's an alternate summer draft for players who lost their college eligibility after standard. You and I cannot say eligibility. Lost
I
their
didn't say
college
eligibility. I was saying inevitable.
We can't say words.
We can't
with
speak.
E and I. All right. After the standard NFL draft deadline, instead of a traditional draft order, teams participate in a weighted lottery. So basically, eligibility players must be approved by the NFL. These prospects typically lost their college eligibility due to academic issues, off-field disciplinary matters, or other unexpected circumstances after the standard April draft has already concluded. So the bidding system, they're divided into 3 weighted lottery tiers based on their prior season record. So number 1 tier is teams with 6 or fewer wins. Second tier is non-playoff teams with 7 or more wins. Third tier is 14, the playoff teams. Prospects available, interested teams place a blind bid by specifying which round of the draft they are willing to use to select the player. The team then submits the highest round pick, wins the player's rights. If multiple teams bid on the player in the same round, the winner is the team that holds the highest priority within the weighted lottery tiers. So basically, sounds to me like the Browns said they won next year. They probably would, because the teams ahead of us are not going quarterback. The cost. Team successfully drafts a player, they must forfeit the corresponding pick. So interesting. I'd like to see, we're going to look this up real quick. I want to know successful players had in the NFL sup. Let's see, who do we got here? Chris Carter, Bernie Kosar. Bernie Kosar's 2 on the list and is a dog, but if he's 2 on the list, Jamal Williams, Ahmad Brooks, Josh
I did
Gordon,
not know that we got Josh Gordon in the supplemental draft.
Yeah, that might have been... That probably should have been a warning. Dude could not stop smoking weed. Great guy.
Dude, but he
sounds like he was
goated.
Like he was just like a super nice, great guy, great teammate by all accounts. Could not stop smoking weed.
I was not aware of that. I mean, when 2012, I was 9 years old, so I wasn't really well versed in the NFL world.
Dude, he could have been an absolute dog. Just so annoying.
I don't know. The list is short, so...
Yeah, it's not. You know what else? First thing you see, 2 Browns on the list. Although Bernie Kosar was a dog. So anyway, going on. I do want to address. We haven't talked about it yet. We're still working out the kinks on the lighting situation, but Nate's got his new studio, so
Yep.
we got a little supplemental expansion draft deal going on right now here on Flagrant File. So Studio East is under construction. It's basically done. We get this lighting figured out a little bit, but otherwise, yeah. How is it? How's the new digs?
It's great. It's nice to be able to have my own room versus throwing up the flags behind me. So hopefully it's better for the viewing experience.
The futon is delightful to sleep on. I will say that. So, as far as futon goes, which historically are like, if you're in your teens, early 20s after a night out on the town, anywhere will work the flop. But you're a little older, they hurt. That one, solid mattress situation on it. Pretty comfortable. So anyway, well, let's do it. NHL playoffs. It happened. Dabs tanked it. Disappointing. I've had some time to just sort of reflect on the season, the things that are happening, and there's still a lot of positives. I mean, they make the playoffs, they won the President's Trophy, they make the Western Conference Finals. I think, our goalie situations is as figured out as it's ever been, at least for next year, and then 50% of it for the year after. Landy's back and looking like a guy that can play 10 more years in the league. There's some really good silver linings. Another one is, and I'm starting to look back at the way the season began. I think we thought Mackenzie Blackwood would be our number one. He was dealing with some lingering injuries and never really kind of got like that consistent playing time out of the gate. So I wouldn't say he looked great, but I actually thought
he looked great in Game 4.
Yeah, my comfort level with Mackenzie Blackwood going forward is elevated. He's big. He can be a rock star. All goalies go through these periods. So, that's a silver lining to me a little bit. Things that I'm disappointed in. So, Nick Waugh, that was a great late season acquisition. And I believe we still have him under contract. Kadri, I think Kadri was a reach, and definitely, he looked like an old player. He did contribute a little bit, but my expectations for him even next year are not very high at all. I thought Val Nichushkin went into radio silence mode, and Brock Nelson's probably my biggest disappointment. I know Arturi Lehkonen probably didn't have the greatest last series either, but there was some injury things he was dealing with. Overall, I think that dude's just a gamer, but I think going into next year, if I find a way to move Kadri, I'd do it. I'd be okay bringing Burns back, I think, on a 1 year if it was cheap enough, but he did look a little tired, and he looked good in half of the games and he looked tired in the other half in the playoff. If I can move Val, I'm moving him. I know we have a lot of, everybody's like, he's great on the power play, on the penalty kill, I should say. And he's a great two-way hockey player. We have so many of those guys on the penalty kill. We need guys that can put puck in the net. Brock Nelson, we just locked down, so we need to figure it out. Hopefully we can do something with the line, but he just completely vanished in the playoffs. And then I think the other big thing is the Netchus and McKinnon together, that they need to split that line up. I just don't think that those two, they can skate with each other. The creativity, they're both centermen in my mind. We need, that was the thing when you saw the lines where you had Lehkonen, Mac, and Moose, right? Lehkonen and Moose are going to pull the trigger when you freaking shoot him the puck, pass him the puck, I should say. Whereas you got Netchus is sort of trumping McKinnon. McKinnon, I think, scoring-wise, he's more dangerous. He's a playmaker, so he creates opportunities, but he's more dangerous when he's bringing the puck in the zone, potentially using his speed. And when you have Netchus doing it, looking for the outlet pass to him, I just don't like it. I don't think it works. So I think that needs to get broken up. I don't know what we do there. And then, I've softened my position. I was disappointed with Bednar, but the fact of the matter, Bednar is a winner. He's won everywhere he's been. You could argue he's not won enough here, but he's a cup winning guy. I think they just, they ran into a Vegas team. This is a veteran Vegas team that's won a cup since we won a cup. They just had our number. I think there's some things we need to look at with our style and clean up. The PK is terrible. I hate the power play. I hate the power play. I don't know what we need to do. I don't feel like any team in the league, particularly one as talented as the Avs, has more issues with zone entry than the Avs do. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know who's, the Bruce Cassidy situation looks to be a mess. So that's not going to happen. I think which he's not, if the DU coach had expressed a ton of interest in becoming an NHL head coach now, which the dude's like 34 or something. Like, he's so young. He could go run off another decade of freaking NCAA championships and still be in his mid 40s and then go have a crazy career too. So like, I don't think there's a rush. There might be interest there with the Avs at some point. But I mean, who are you going to get? The guys, and I think the thing that I like too, we know that Mac can be a malcontent, or at least he's fiery, gets mad. He doesn't like to lose. He came out in support of Bedsy, and you see it on other teams. I think if he had come out and it was kind of like expressed anything of like there was something that could have been done better on the coaching standpoint and didn't support him, maybe. But the fact that he, as an elite player, has got his back, I think he comes back. He may be on a short leash, but I think he comes back next year. So, how are you feeling after all this?
Yeah, I definitely agree with, I don't know, it kind of felt like they had success in 22 and they're like, and they haven't had success since then. I mean, like, they made the playoffs, obviously that's a plus compared to our other rooting interest.
We didn't have the captain though, so factor that in.
That's true. But I felt like this year they're like, okay, we got to get back to how we won the cup. And so going to get Kadri, but like Kadri's not who he was in 22. Like you said, Nichushkin's not who he was in 22. And I also kind of feel like you think back to 22, you're like, wow, this team is insane. They're young. They're going to go win 4 or 5 more cups. And they have quickly become an old team. Very quickly have become an old team. Kadri, he's 35. I think it's time to move on from him and start looking to some young guys to replace rather than trying to bring guys back that we had previous success with. I mean, there are a lot of guys in their 30s, and like Makar felt like just yesterday he was making his playoff debut versus Calgary. He's 27, Axe in his 30s. Like, they have suddenly, like, their window is closing pretty quickly, I feel like, with some of these
Let me remind
stars.
you, though, of this. I would say, like, so if you go back in the past, right? Like, I'm not going back to the days of Canadian yore, but I mean, like, you go into the 80s hockey with some of the, I mean, if you look at, I will actually even go back days. If you look at, like, the Islander 4 straight cup team, right? That was a super team. There's not a super team now. You look at the Edmonton Oilers with their cups, super team. You look at the Penguins, and even the Penguins, and you look at who is on their cup teams, that is a super team. As good as you think the Avs are now, those multiple cup winning teams are absolute super teams. And then you go and look at some of these players, like, you look how long it took like a Jeremy Roenick or like a Brett Hull to finally win a cup because they were great players on lesser teams but had to go to these collections and finally get one. Ovechkin finally got one. Eric Lindros never got one. I agree their window is closing, but they did get one. Like, it is the hardest trophy and it's not even close. And you look at the star players around the league. I mean, look at Connor McDavid. I've turned that he is him. And you look at him and Leon Draisaitl. That's as lethal and talented a two players in the league that we've seen in the longest period of time. And you don't have the supporting cast behind you, can't win a cup. So it's hard. It's a really hard trophy to win. And I'll give Vegas this, like, Carter Hart stood on his head, so you get a goalie that does it. Mark Stone is a hell of a postseason player. Jack Eichel is a hell of a player. Mitch Marner is a hell of a player. Like, they, sneakily are kind of loaded, and they're gritty. So it's not that easy. This idea of, like, you go, oh, Crosby has 3 cups. Go look at the roster on those teams. That's a super team. So I don't know. I mean, I don't
know if you had said this also. Obviously, Netchus was a 100-point player this year, so being in Colorado was beneficial for him, but he was non-existent in the playoffs. We have severely missed having Rantanen's playoff production. As much as he's become a rat and I don't really like him anymore, he produces in the playoffs, and that has really hurt them since he's been gone.
I mean, what about, like, I mean, you look at him in the play, like not just in the playoffs. I mean, he just sort of he vanished. But if you look like when Rantanen was around, right, dude, like we had injuries. Like I remember a couple years where it was like, no, Landy's out, and then Mac's going to be out for a month, and all this stuff. That dude could put the team on his back and carry the team.
Well,
Like
think about like was it?
sneaky how great he was.
I want to say it was like the Game 7, the second year I think we played Dallas when he was there. Like, bro had a hat trick in Game 7. Like, that's clutch. We're not seeing a hat trick from anybody on the team right now. Like,
No.
where the Avs were at in that Vegas series, like McKinnon was lucky to get a point, and Miko just is like, I'm playing against my former team. Let me just go throw a hat trick on their heads to seal the series. Like,
Yeah.
nobody's doing that.
I mean, Netjes has so much talent. It's not even funny. I get it. He's just not a clutch player, man. I don't
like his play style. And that's part of, I don't know if that's because they played with Miko for so long. They were just clicking on all cylinders versus like Netjes and Miko, both great players, but they're not the same type of player. Netjes is the fly around. Like he feels like an offensive Sam Girard to me.
Yeah.
And he drives me crazy sometimes with it doesn't look like nothing he does is like calculated or on purpose. He just goes down there and wings it, and hopes for the best. He's like, I don't know, carefree for whatever reason.
Yeah. No. Well, so we won't harp on that, but a couple other things I want to get into. So does it annoy any of our other flagrant foul listeners or family here? The VGK is the stupidest shit that
was
any
making me so
commentator can come
angry.
out. First of all, just call them the Knights, the VGK,
the Golden Knights.
We don't call
Vegas.
We don't call us the COL.
It's so stupid.
They're the Knights. The VGK is the most irritating, stupidest thing I've ever heard. It is making me so angry.
Another power play kill for the VGK. Stop saying it.
Yeah, it was aggravating me.
Golden Knights is less or equal syllables. 3 Golden Knights. It's the same syllables. It takes the same effort. Say Golden Knights.
Yeah, or just call them Knights. The Knights. VGK. What the hell? The VGK.
I hate it.
Was making me so
That's
incredibly
probably why
angry.
they lost. Also, while we're on the topic, I feel throughout the entire playoff run for the Avs, the commentators outside of Eric Johnson were freaking schlobbing on the other team's knob.
I agree with you, but I'll say this. So other than one game against Minnesota that I wouldn't say that like we were flawless right through the playoffs. So like they had some criticism to be had potentially going on. I will give the one guy who he was harsh, but then he also was like, you still got to watch out. This team's talented. And it's like, great. I think PK Subban is as great an analyst for NHL hockey. So like, I think he knows the game as well as anybody else. I think he does a pretty good job. Like he's critical to both sides, but also positive to both sides. I just like him. He brings a little flavor to the podcast, to the broadcast. Like PK, I like. I mean, even in the games they were talking, they're like, dude, they're one goal. They can get back in this. That, same things we're saying. Like, shoot the puck. Like, shoot the puck. Like, I don't know. I do like PK. He's the one guy I think I like. I don't hate Mess, but, everybody else.
I don't care for him.
But I do like PK. I think he's great. But
I like PK.
So we were just talking clutch. I do want to talk, when we talk about players that are clutch, RIP, sad news of the passing of Claude Lemieux this week. That's kind of sad to hear, but you want to talk about a player. I mean, the guy played 1,200 games and he scored, almost 400 goals, 786 points, which, it doesn't seem like a ton, but dude's got 4 cups. He's got, he won the Conn Smythe. I mean, you want to talk about a guy that showed up in the playoffs. So the dude's got 4 cups on 3 different teams. And if you look at his playoff point totals, I mean, he's like the super liking it in the playoffs. I mean, you're talking like his dude's going on runs or he's putting 20 points, 16 points, 18 points on cup teams. Like the dude was clutch when it counted. So, sad news of his passing, but dude was a dog. Not a Hall of Famer, but honestly, look at his resume and it's like, yeah, the points don't speak to it. The collection of what he put together. I mean, he's got in the Stanley Cup playoffs, he's got 80 goals lifetime. He should get in the Hall of Fame based off of that, his 4 cups and a Conn Smythe. But that's my outside opinion. But I guess before we move on, we won't get into the cause of his death. But if you're flagrant foul, we're supporters of mental health. Nothing's as bad as you think they are, and if you're going through it, go talk to somebody. So, sad news. Moving on, guards, man, just keep winning. Like, we win baseball games. That's what we do. We've always been like, you have no expectations of us. We'll see you in October. Now we're like, yeah, we're just going to remind you now in May. We'll see you in October. So love it. They got a 2-game lead. They had a stinker against Boston, but that's fine. They're not going to win every game, but sitting at 34-26. And quite honestly, you got some young guys making an impact. So Bazana's looking pretty, Bazana, I can't say his name.
Bazana has been good. Chase Delauder's been good.
I still think,
what do you know about, I think I'm not sure. I think he was playing left field when I was just there on Friday, filling in for Stephen Kwan. So I honestly am not sure what his usual position is. Maybe he's a center fielder. Anyways, Angel Martinez is a dog. He was American League Player of the Week a couple weeks ago. He had a snipe on Friday. Threw a dude out from the outfield, threw him out at home. He has been balling. I think he was, I'm not sure if he still is, leading the team in home runs. That's the thing about the Guardians. They're awesome. They always figure it out. I don't know if you've ever heard the term guards ball. It feels like where the league is these days. It's like you got your big bats, you got your Aaron Judges, they're gonna go yard every at bat. You got your Shohei Ohtani 50 home run guys. The guards don't have these big bat guys, but they got their guards ball. It's just good old fashioned baseball, and they find a way to win. And that's why they're awesome. Whether win or lose, you always have a good time at a Guardians game. And you have these guys nobody. If you're not a Guardians fan, you don't know who Angel Martinez is, but he's a dog. They find these guys compared to the Browns. They like to fill positions with these randos. I feel like their receiving core. We loved Rashard Higgins and DPJ, those kinds of guys, but it's outside of being a Browns fan, you don't know who these guys are. They balled out for us at that time, but usually that doesn't work out when you try to go put together. It feels like real life, Moneyball situation. We're going to get these guys that haven't necessarily panned out, and then they come to Cleveland, they all jive and get some W's.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we've complained about the team where, we're cheap and it's going to, as soon as you sort of make a name for yourself, we're going to lose you and all that kind of stuff. But I think overall it's, been pretty, it's been a great start to the year. So that's awesome. But a couple things to look at. I think they're 231 team batting average. It's not terrible. They're averaging just under 1 home run a game and averaging just over 4 runs a game. So not bad stats, man, right now. Give the old AL leaderboard here a quick view to see where we're at here. But what do we got? Are we I thought at one point, I sort of think that speaks to it. It's not like we're leading the league in a whole lot of stuff. It's just good, consistent all around baseball.
I saw this thing, a graphic on Instagram. I don't remember exactly what it was players that have gotten walks or gotten the most walks in at least a certain amount of at bats or something like that. And we had Jose Ramirez, Stephen Kwan, and I think Chase Delauder were all in the top 10. They might not be the greatest hitting team, but these guys get on base.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, you went to the game the other night. How was it?
It was great. So I got off at work at 6. Game started at 7:10. By the time we got down there, got to our seats, we had missed the bottom of the first inning where the Guardians scored their only 4 runs of the game. So missed that. Then it was dollar dog night. So later in the game, we go grab another round of dogs. I think I had 4 total, and the girls each had 3.
Solid
I thought
numbers.
I thought I was gonna do better. But we bet on our diet kick lately. I think my stomach shrunk a tad. Um,
You've been
but
doing
yeah,
good
we
on
went for
the old diet.
yeah. I've been trying.
Nice.
But yeah, we went for another round of dogs and then missed the Red Sox only 3 runs of the game. So 7 total runs scored and we didn't witness a single one of them. But they got the win nonetheless. We got some dollar hot dogs. We missed the $2 beers before first pitch because the game had already started as we were walking through the gate. But it was a good time. We got fireworks at the end. So it was a nice day. The weather was beautiful. Our seats were pretty sick. They were in the 500 section, basically like behind, like on the first baseline, like right at first base. But we were in the front row. Was cool, but where we were at, we couldn't really see the first baseline. Nor could we see home very well. So it was cool. We didn't have like anybody in front of us. We could just see the field. That was sick. But trying to watch like each at bat, there was like the stairs to walk up to our section, and then it was like the base of the stairs, and there was like a little railing, and then like this plastic like piece on top of the railing, I guess, so people don't fall or whatever. So we were basically watching each at bat through that like plastic piece, like diagonally across. So not the best viewing experience, but it was pretty cool to be up there in the front. But yeah, it was a great day for baseball. I had a lot of fun. They got the W.
Me and Bean sat in the 500s right up behind home plate at the Rockies a few weeks ago. That was kind of not bad because it's like watching the game on TV.
It's kind of nice,
sweet.
like. Obviously, being down in the 100 section, like you're more immersed in the game, I would say. It's cooler being right there. But I feel like being able to see the entire game and like, I don't know, it's kind of like an equivalent to watching it on TV because you get like that zoomed out angle. You can see the at bat, you can see them all, like the plays, the throws, whatever. So sitting up there, like behind home plate is probably the sweet spot, or maybe like in the outfield. But I guess you can't really see the at bats as well. But it's not as bad. Like I feel like there's not really a bad seat for baseball.
Stadiums aren't like they used to be. They're like, I mean, the way they're set. I'll tell you what. Any of our listeners from the Indians days at the old Muni Stadium, you just got a seat behind a beam. It was like.
There's still some stadiums like that got that, the old ones. I saw like, I think the Coliseum has like a nice little seat right next to like the commentator box. So like you can only see like about 30, 40 yards in front of you, and everything to the left of you is a cement wall.
Well, if you think of the Browns stadiums,
are more conscious of it.
You think of the Browns Stadium was like, what are they? They're under 60. I want to say they're like 55 maybe, something like that. 1,000.
The new one?
I could be wrong.
I think it's like 63.
Double check that for me, but I will say the original Muni Stadium,
like 80 or something. It's 67.
Muni was built for like 110 or 120,000 because their whole idea, it was a multi-purpose stadium, and they were like, hey, we're going to build something that we could potentially make a bid for the Olympics because, the Olympics were coming to Cleveland, not happening. But it was way too big, and then I think they reduced it down to like high 80s, but like it was so big and it was so round, so like the fields didn't quite fit right. You were so far away from the field. It was not a great look. So.
It looks like it depended on the event, but you're looking at roughly like 78 to 81 for Muni.
78. Does he have the original history of how big it was?
I tried to look it up. It didn't really say much, but
so
it's pretty big compared to what it was. But yeah, there's not really a bad place to sit at a baseball game compared to like you're at a Browns game, you're sitting in the dog pound and the play's at the other end of the field. You don't really know what's going on. You're watching on the Jumbotron.
Anyway, yeah, so moving on, next weekend, F1 is back and it's a fun one. It's one that you can't pass grade, so qualifying is going to be even more crucial than it already is, but Monaco, just steeped in history. Honestly, if you ask me, hey, we're going to give you an all-expense to any F1 race in the world, and that would be tricky because there's a lot, like Japan looks cool,
Dubai, Abu Dhabi.
Dubai looks cool. There's some cool ones. Monaco would be awesome.
Pretty
Like
sick.
it looks pretty sick. But
There's a lot of
so
like controversy, I think, with it now because the cars have gotten bigger. So people compare it to a chess match. There's not a lot of racing per se going on. It's a lot of strategy. When are you going to take your pit stops? Those kinds of things.
look, if it just looks like an amazing venue, it would be awesome.
It does look sick.
It
It does
looks
look sick.
amazing. So anyway, going into that, you sent me a video the other day they were talking about. So sounds like Mercedes engine is within regulations, but they've sort of found some loopholes around that they are now going to be forced to address that could potentially change the complexion of the series. So I would say, on paper, I would say McLaren's probably your next fastest team. However, Ferrari is number 2 in the Constructors' Championship. So, I mean, I don't know if that's something that opens this back up. We got our boy Lewis Hamilton got a runner-up
They have
finish.
been cooking. Yeah,
So that was exciting.
He lucked out from Russell, but they've been doing well despite the Mercedes death machine, as people call it. So it'd be interesting to see if they get the edge now.
To see Lewis on the top step again.
That'd be so sick.
So he's doing good. He owns the British frickin' Grand Prix. It would be cool. I mean, he didn't last year, but historically he go win that. I don't know. It would be cool, but I want to see Lewis back on the top step. So we got that coming up next weekend. Nate, get us a little PlayStation preview of that this week if you can think about it.
Yep.
So,
I'll hop on that. But I want to go into more of the Mercedes. I guess with like the combustion, they have like compression. That's what I meant to say. Compression ratios for the engine. They have to be within certain constraints, but they usually test that at cold temperatures. Obviously things expand when they get hot, so that was a Mercedes like loophole, is it met the regulations when cold, but then they were getting a little extra out of it as it was heating up. So now I guess the FIA is going to be testing it at hot and cold temperatures to make sure that they're within the guidelines. So should slow them down slightly. I'm not sure exactly how much of an impact it'll have, but yeah, that's kind of what's going on.
yes, sir. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. Tune in for that one next week. I would say you could probably watch that one not in the middle of the night. I don't know exactly what the hour difference is, but I would say that's probably sometime in the morning you could catch that here. Moving on, I mentioned I got to get into this. I went to Morgan Wallen yesterday with me and Beans, hit that up at Mile High. As much as it pains me to say, other than all the Broncos crap that's in that stadium, screw that team. It honestly, as far as outdoor arenas go, where you're sitting, 50,000 plus, that's the sound in there. I've now seen 2 concerts. I saw Pretenders and Foo Fighters in there, and then I just saw the Morgan Wallen concert. The sound is pretty good. It's solid. I definitely would go there and check it out again. But anyway, we got there. So this sucker started at 5:30. We left about 11:45, like long concert. It was the lineup was Vincent Mason, Gavin Adcock, Ella Langley, and then Morgan Wallen. So good show had by all. Gavin Adcock, I like that dude. That dude's a nutter, man. Like, dude comes out, case of Miller Lite. So there were cases of Miller Lite, I'd say. Just takes an entire case of Miller Lite and just hammer throws it the whole case into the crowd, which is a cool ass move. He was like, a couple points during the show, he was just like, "You want a beer?" He goes into his thing. He's just chucking a beer, making connections with fans. He shotgunned a few beers, shotgunned a beer at the end. He killed an entire bottle of Jack Daniels. I was like, good thing, because the dude's like, I want to say 27. He's enjoying living his best life. Enjoy that now. I'm waiting for him to go through the years where he's he'll have the sober years apparently, but he was getting after it. He's a pretty funny guy and quite an entertainer. I think the thing I enjoyed, so I would say everybody was good, but Gavin and Morgan, like, very appreciative of their fans, a lot of fan interaction. Dude, at one point, Morgan Wallen, so what I thought was really cool, the stage was like, so they kind of do it at one end, you got your big main stage, and then there's 2 sides, so there's sort of like obstructed views, but they're huge. At one point, he gets off stage, he walked all the way around the arena down. And then it was just another stage hidden in the back because he was talking about he used to play these small shows and he misses it. So this is an attempt to try to like get close with people. So he played for the whole back of stage, did a few songs. And while he went around, I literally watched him. Every hand that was closed, he shook or high-fived, which was cool. Then he walked all the way back, did the same thing, and then he did a set on each side of the stage for people. So I thought that was like super cool. He was cool, you know. And again, I thought he was just like really, I don't know. The crowd interaction was great with all of them, but it was super fun. I would say, I told Beans yesterday, I was like, Nate, you would have loved it. Live music's so much better. You know, if you listen to country music, you're like, I don't know, the beat. It's so much more like upbeat and rocky and louder live. It was great. Like everybody was great, but I would say if you get a chance to see either of those guys, you would like it. I would definitely go check it out. But a couple of things I did want to get into. So number one, walking, right? So as I said, you know, they don't use the entire stadium. So I want to say it was right around 50,000 people. So you're not parking that close. People are coming from like town. You're walking through the Auraria campus. By the way, Outside Days is this weekend at Auraria campus. So you have like Death Cab for Cutie, Goth Bay, like there's some big acts, multiple acts. So that made it even more congested. But I'm just seeing like after the concert, people walking back, people are just like walking in their socks, carrying their boots. Thought that was amusing because people are trying to fit out for the concert that like didn't break their boots in. So you knew they were like new. You could definitely tell like, oh, these are the cowboy boot regulars and the ones that just like Amazon some cheap ones and now their ankles are killing them walking over. But I was laughing because there was one chick who shouldn't have been wearing the outfit she was wearing, but she was sitting over on the side, basically bitching at her boyfriend, complaining about her feet hurting. And I just wanted to be like, that's not on him. Like, you made a failed attempt to try to look cute. You took cute over comfort. You missed the mark on both. But don't complain to him because you decided to not wear appropriate footwear and your feet are now hurting yourself. That might be more of a product of you trying to put a sizable amount on top of those feet that we were walking over there, not the cowboy boots. So get off that bro's back. So that was interesting. But then I will say, I'm going to put up, I got a little quiz. I get a little test for you. I'm not, no judgment. And this is not male or female, focused. I need you to name 2 things where people dress in a manner that is appropriate for some people, but shouldn't be for everybody. And they just decide to not look in the mirror and show up at it. My 2 are the beach and a concert, and I'll even go subset a country concert. Like, hey, I hear what you're saying. That fit's not for you. T-shirt, some jeans, go capris. That's fine too. No, maybe it was a nice cool breeze last night. Throw a flannel on it. You look good. The cowboy hat. You used to do the cowboy hat. The sheer half shirts. And I'm just going to leave it at that. And the Daisy Dukes that were inappropriate, like, I was just like, come on, say, do something about it. You got 2, or did I steal the only 2?
I would say sporting events, but the beach is probably a consistent one.
What would you say, like sporting events, the baseball, right? Summer baseball, simply because, you know, football is going to be cold, hockey, so I feel like that. You know, like, that's a good point. I want to talk about, like, appropriately dressed fans, like, baggy jeans, jerseys, fine. But for a lot of people, like, when you're sitting there thinking of, like, all the genres of music and you go to a concert and you're going to be like, oh, people are dressed like they're getting ready. My goodness, I was not prepared for what I witnessed yesterday. It was interesting. Plus, it was funny. There was like nothing like dude rolls up with his girlfriend in front of us and then proceeds to just spend like an hour trying to pick up the 2 girls next to him. That didn't play out well. Also saw dude, 2 24-ounce cans. He's doing this is like after 2 acts already, trying to do the hop up the steps. Literally like ass over tea kettle, goes like Ted flights down, just falls with both beers. That wasn't good. And then like I watched your head dribble off the concrete and both your cans look like you crushed them and you just, I'm okay. You're not okay. You're embarrassed and you tried to play it off, but You definitely weren't okay. So, but about 45 minutes later, I did see him go on another beer run. So all was not lost, apparently. The last thing I want to get to with that. So good case where it'd be like, you get to the venue, right? You want to take a picture because you have it. You want to send a snap to somebody. Morgan, he's notorious for walking out with somebody. Didn't do it last night. He did it first night. You want to capture that real quick. You want to even capture the first seconds of a song. I'm going to give you all of that. The lights. We got wristbands. There was a cool light show that was also. You want to do a quick screen of that. You go to these concerts. Those tickets aren't cheap. Everybody's on their fucking phone your time. You're filming whole songs, like whole rows of chicks filming themselves singing the songs to post on. Just put your phone away and enjoy the show. Like, listen to the music, take it in. No one cares that you went to the concert. Like, take your little I did it. Take your little selfie of beans. I went to the show. Cool. Good pick. That's fine. I'm not saying don't do it. In a day, no one's going to care. In 2 days, no one's going to care. You're not going to care. Put your phone away. Take in the moment. Enjoy it. So from somebody, I took a couple pictures. If somebody said this is a phone-free concert, I would do it in a minute. Like, just go. Take in your surroundings, listen to the music, relax, and enjoy yourself. I just people need to unplug. Like, the phone thing at concerts is horrible. I'm sorry. I can't take it. It appears to me, at least in the sections, was that it was more about you validating the fact that you went to a show than you really wanted to go and enjoy the show. And it was like, what are you even doing here? So, I don't know. Dude, that's my old man Jenkins rant, dude.
I feel the same way. It's annoying seeing everybody with their phones up. Like, you're not going to watch those videos. You're going to post whatever you post, and then, you're never going to watch them ever again. It's a waste.
Yes.
Just enjoy the moment.
Yeah, it just needs to be a little bit more of that enjoying the moment. And it's like, I've even found myself right now, if your phone, it's a tick. This thing is a cigarette. If it's within arm's reach and you're watching a movie, you're anywhere, right? What are you going to do? Let me just check this real quick, or let me just scroll this real quick. You're going to do it. But I found myself, even at home. Hit. Yes. But I found myself we're going to watch a show or I'm going to watch a movie. I'll just put my phone upstairs. When it's not around me, I do not miss it in the least. And I just enjoy watching the thing and doing the thing I want. I'm seriously going to start doing some time.
That's the same I get. Sometimes I don't wear my Apple Watch, and then I get the phantom buzzes. I'm checking my empty wrist for a notification on my Apple Watch. It's bad.
I mean, the thing is, if I checked my phone every time it buzzed because somebody loved one of our flagrant foul videos, I would never have my phone in my pocket. That was a quick fake flex, but we do appreciate our listeners. We do get a fair amount of interaction for you guys, and thanks. Keep it up. So lastly, banger of the week. You got anything? I got two, and I wasn't going to do this, but you go for it.
I'm going back to Drake. I've been bumping the 3 albums. Today, I'm going to go with this one. It's an intro to the one album, so it's only a minute long, so it's not a true song, but I enjoy it. It's the Rusty intro.
Okay. I'll give that sucker a listen.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, for me, I'm going to stick with my first one that I put earlier in the week and I think we may have even talked about this song before we started doing our banger of the week, but it's Amber by 311.
Claire said 311.
Yeah, that's such a cool tune. That's a great driving song. That's a great, you throw the old headphones on, go for a hike. That's a song where it's just
just vibe out.
Give me a top 10 song that you potentially would want to hear, on a nice but cool summer evening at Red Rocks. It's dark out, the lights are up. Amber by 311. That's got to make anybody's top 10 to me. So that I'm going to stick with that. But also because I hit up the country show last night, I'm going to go a different route. I'm not going to go with one of the big ones. I'm going to go with the opener, Speak of the Devil by Vincent Mason. That's a great one to open up the show with. I like that. So give that sucker a listen if you have never heard it. It's a pretty good tune. Like that guy. So, but that's all we got for this week. We'll be back at you next week. Nate, what any parting thoughts?
Nope, just gotta go grind some homework now.
Yeah,
I
you
hit
got
up
to.
the old porcelain throne, so I got a jam-packed day.
I know you have some meetups for class, and then you're hitting up Top Golf. So that's a pretty nice little Sunday.
Yep.
So enjoy yourselves, and everybody else have a good week. Stay classy, Cleveland. We'll catch y'all later. Peace out.
Back beat kicks in crowd noise, whistle blows.